Hello everyone. Tonight, we'll talk about life in ancient Greece and the gods that once shaped the world. But first, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all the support lately. Your kind words and encouragement mean more than you know. If you'd like me to post more often, consider subscribing. It truly helps. Ever wondered what it was like to walk among gods? Not metaphorical ones, real ones. Statues that breathed, temples that spoke, dreams sent by Zeus himself. You lived not just under the sun, but under Olympus. In this world, thunder had a name. So did war, wine, wisdom, and revenge. You were born into myths, and if you weren't careful, you'd become one. So lay down, take a breath, and let me take you back. To olive groves and marble cities, to sandals and scrolls and sacrifice. You're about to spend a day in ancient Greece, among philosophers, warriors, poets, and Hercules himself. You might survive, but don't bet your drachmas on it. You wake up to the sound of goats, not the dramatic cry of battle-hardened beasts, just the soft bleating of two curious animals wandering past your clay home. The floor is cold, your thin blanket scratchy. Outside, the world is already alive. The air smells like dust and roasted barley. You're in Athens. Not the golden, mythic Athens of statues and speeches, but the real one. It's noisy, it's busy, and it doesn't care if you're tired. You stretch. Your muscles ache from the cot. There's no mattress, only rope. You reach for your chiton, a simple sleeveless tunic, and slip it over your head. It's yesterday's chiton. It's also tomorrow's. You only own two. Your mother is already outside, mixing water and wine for your father. No one drinks water alone. Too dangerous. The well is shared by 20 families, and even the dogs avoid it in the heat. Diluted wine is the safer bet. Breakfast, barley bread. Again, you bite into it. It's dry, hard. There's a bit of honey, but not enough. Your jaw hurts from chewing. A rooster struts by as your younger brother trips over a clay jug. Your father shouts. Your mother sighs. It's the same every day. But today, there's one difference. Today is a festival. The gods must be honored. Not just one god, all of them. Because in ancient Greece, the gods are everywhere. In the cracks of your home's walls, in the wind, in the marketplace, and definitely in the sky. Zeus rules from above, hurling thunderbolts when he's annoyed. He's the king, and no one forgets it. His statue at Olympia towers over men, gleaming with ivory and gold. Then there's Hera, his wife, queen of the gods, goddess of marriage. You're told to respect her, but even as a child, you've heard the whispered jokes. She's jealous, vengeful, cold like a temple at night. You think of Poseidon next, god of the sea, brother of Zeus. He's dangerous. Your uncle says, Poseidon once sank a fleet just because someone forgot a sacrifice. You've never seen the sea, but you fear it like a beast behind a closed door. Athena, goddess of wisdom, watches your city, literally. Her statue stands high on the Acropolis, looking down with eyes that never blink. She's your city's protector and your favorite. You like the stories where she tricks gods with words, not weapons. Then there's Apollo, the golden boy. Music, poetry, and the sun. His twin, Artemis, prefers forests and wild things. You're told she doesn't like men. Ares, blood. War, screams. Aphrodite, love, beauty, and temptation. The older boys talk about her in hushed voices, pretending to know more than they do. Demeter brings the harvest. Dionysus brings the wine. And Hades. You don't talk about Hades, not in the morning. Your father is heading to the Agora, the city's marketplace, to hear a traveling philosopher speak. You follow behind, dodging donkeys and street vendors. The air smells of olives, smoke, and sweat. Two men argue over a fish price. A woman sings a hymn to Demeter, her voice trembling with grief. It's the planning season. You arrive at the temple square. A priest stands on marble steps, lifting a bowl of burning herbs. Smoke curls toward the sky. You close your eyes as the scent wraps around you. Your mother says the gods smell everything. A goat is led forward. It bleats once. The blade is quick. The blood is caught in a bowl and poured over the altar. People cheer. You flinch. This is normal. This is faith. But later that day, something changes. You're walking home when a storm rolls in too quickly. A thunderclap, louder than anything you've ever heard, shakes the sky. The street's empty. Even the animals hide. You look up, and for a moment, just a moment, you swear. You see something move in the clouds. Something watching. You hear it before you see it. A soft flutter of sandals. A hush in the courtyard. And then, him, Hercules. Not a statue, not a story. The man himself, striding into the palæstra like a lion cloaked in sun. Muscles like marble brought to life, a lion pelt over one shoulder, and a club slung across his back as casually as you might carry a basket of figs. The other boys scatter. You freeze. He doesn't speak. He doesn't need to. His eyes find you, and in that moment, you remember everything the old priest said. Half god, son of Zeus, strong enough to shift the earth, cursed by Hera to madness, forgiven only by completing the 12 labors. And now he stands in your gymnasium, breathing the same air. He trains beside you, not with you, of course. No one dares that. But each time he lifts a stone or throws a javelin, the dust in the air feels holy. You are certain this is the closest you've ever come to touching Olympus. Later, as the sun lowers into bronze, you retreat home. The streets are buzzing, rumors spreading. The Oracle of Delphi has spoken. A war may come, or a plague, or both. The gods are stirring. That night, your dreams are flooded. You see Apollo riding his chariot across the sky, his golden hair trailing light. You see Artemis, drawing her bow by moonlight, eyes locked on something just beyond your vision. You see Ares, covered in blood, laughing at a field of fallen men. You see Demeter, weeping, fields turning to dust in her sorrow. You see Hades, silent, watching. And in the last image, you see Hercules again, alone, not fighting, not victorious, but walking away from Olympus, into the dark. You wake up sweating, because somehow, you know, tomorrow everything changes. You wake to the scent of dust and olive oil. The clay of the walls is still warm from yesterday's sun, though morning has barely touched the horizon. Your mother stirs the coals with a stick of fig wood, her face bathed in flickering amber. She murmurs a prayer to Hestia under her breath, protector of the hearth, while the embers catch and the day begins. Outside, the city of Athens breathes. Faint chants from the temple drift down the Acropolis like smoke. Doves scatter from rooftops. The alley outside your home smells of goat dung, sea salt, and thyme. You step carefully around a puddle of wine left from last night's revels. Across the way, a vendor is already setting up amphorae of oil. His son yawns behind him, dragging a crate of pomegranates. You hear the sound of sandals slapping limestone, runners heading toward the gymnasium, their tunics knotted up, skin slick with oil and ambition. You almost join them, but not today. Today, the air is too still, too heavy. Something lingers in it, like the pause before thunder. As you pass the agora, voices ripple across the crowd like fish breaking the surface. The city is buzzing. People speak in low tones about the oracle's warning, delivered only days ago. They say Apollo's priestess, mouth foaming, spoke of a rising darkness. A disease, maybe, or war, or both. No one is sure. That's how these things go. A sophist argues near the fountain. This is why democracy fails, he says, arms flailing. We ask the gods for answers and receive riddles wrapped in madness. You keep walking. You pass a sculptor chiseling at the knee of a marble Athena. She is unfinished, headless for now, but still regal. Even the chips of stone at her feet seem to command silence. your stomach grumbles. A slave hands you a small loaf, barley bread, rough and filled with grit. As you chew, you can feel the sand grinding against your teeth. A daily experience. Bread here isn't soft. Nothing here is. You walk uphill toward the sanctuary, not the great temple. Your class is not noble enough for that. But a small roadside shrine dedicated to Hermes, god of travelers, merchants, and thieves. You light a little oil, place your hand to your chest, and whisper a plea for guidance. Not for riches or glory, just clarity. Because the gods are real. You've always believed that. How could you not? The stories are everywhere, sculpted into the friezes above doorways, carved in amphorae, painted in blood on sacrificial stones. You grew up hearing them all. Zeus, the thunderer, watching from Olympus. Hera, his queen, burning with divine jealousy. Poseidon, storming through the sea with trident in hand. Hades, lurking in shadow, king of the dead. Demeter, whose grief once froze the earth. Artemis, wild and silent among the animals. Apollo, radiant and cold as gold. Ares, cruel and quick to anger. Athena, born of thought, shield in hand. Hephaestus, bent and brilliant, forging wonders in fire. Aphrodite, born of sea foam, the force no man or god can resist. Hermes, who moves between worlds. Dionysus, the beautiful madness in wine and dream. They are not metaphors. They are not stories. They are truths carved into the skin of the world. You descend toward the stoa, fingers brushing the rough stone as you walk. There's comfort in the routine, in the murmur of debate, in the smell of roasting chickpeas, in the clink of coins and terracotta cups. But today, nothing feels stable. A group of men in white chitons gather around a speaker. His voice is steady, but edged with something urgent. They say the fever has reached Thebes, he says. The oracle was right. You pause. Fever. You've heard of it. The kind that melts a man's strength in hours, that turns his breath shallow and his eyes glassy. Some say Apollo sends it when dishonor grows too bold. Others say it's miasma, a spiritual pollution born from unpunished crimes. Your neighbor was coughing yesterday, but you shake it off. There's work to do. You make your way to the Potter's Quarter, a sloping part of the city where the smoke rises thickest. You pass boys with black-stained hands, and the smell of wet clay clings to your nose. You help your uncle for a few hours, shaping, stamping, firing. It's a quiet rhythm. But even here, the gods are present. On nearly every pot, someone has etched a story. Athena challenging Poseidon. Zeus hurling thunder. Hermes stealing Apollo's cattle. You trace one with your fingertip, wondering if any of it is true, and knowing, deep down, that it must be. At midday, you wash your arms in a basin and sit beneath the shade of a fig tree. A lyre player plucks at soft notes nearby. The dust settles for a moment. Everything feels suspended until you hear a commotion from the temple road. You follow the sound. Footsteps, shouts, the sharp report of sandals against stone. A procession is coming. Women in flowing robes, veils fluttering. Men with laurel crowns, carrying something heavy. You push closer, heart quickening. It's a sacrifice. A white bull, draped in garlands, is led through the street. The crowd parts for it like water. Its eyes are calm, too calm. It knows. You've never been this close before. At the altar, the priests raise their arms. One speaks. To Apollo, god of plague and healing, we offer this life. The blade glints. The bull falls. And in that moment, a silence so deep it hums settles over the crowd. Then a cheer erupts. Drums beat. Flute music begins. The blood is carried away in a bowl to be poured on the sacred stones. You watch, breath shallow. The gods have been honored. But will it be enough? That night you lie awake. Your mat is rough beneath you. You hear the city breathing through your window. Wind through the olive trees. Footsteps echoing far away. Then something strange happens. A light fills your room. Not fire, not moonlight. Something softer, golden and flickering. You sit up, and standing in your doorway is a woman clad in bronze. Her eyes shine like polished stone. A shield rests against her hip. An owl perches on her shoulder. It's Athena. She says nothing, only looks at you, and then at the scroll on your table. A scroll you've barely touched. A treatise on ethics, left unread. She nods once and vanishes. You wake again, for real this time, or did you ever sleep? Either way, the air feels different, charged. Something is coming, and you're not sure you're ready. You don't rise with the sun, not because you're lazy, but because the air is heavy, strange, as though Olympus itself is leaning closer, watching. Even the birds hesitate in their morning songs. You step outside and glance at the sky. It's pale, too pale. The usual blue has been drained, as if Apollo hasn't yet chosen to pull his chariot overhead. You walk through Athens with your tunic slightly askew, sandals scraping the stone. You're not the only one uneasy. The agora is quieter. Vendors whisper. Even the fish smell sharper today, like the sea is warning you. An old woman grabs your arm. Her skin is paper, her eyes milky. They walk among us today, she hisses. The gods are not pleased. She releases you and vanishes into the crowd before you can answer. You tell yourself it's nonsense, but the hairs on your arms stay raised. You head toward the temple district. Today is a holy day, one dedicated to Demeter, goddess of grain, of mothers, of the cycle of life and death. You join the procession, offering a basket of barley. There are flowers, music, incense. For a moment, things feel normal. Then the sky cracks, not thunder, something else. A soundless flash, like a breath from Zeus himself. And the sky darkens even though the sun stands high. Screams ripple through the crowd. A child collapses. A priest drops his torch. You look to the Acropolis. At the highest point, a figure stands. Tall, black against the sudden grey. Not mortal. The crowd kneels. You follow. The figure raises a hand, then vanishes into mist. You rush to the gymnasium, heart racing. You need to see Hercules. You don't know why. Only that he'll know what this means. But he's not there. The palestra is empty, save for a single spear driven into the ground, its shaft trembling slightly, as if something had only just left. You reach for it. The instant your fingers brush the wood, a vision takes you. You stand in a wheat field, but the wheat is ash. The rivers are dry, the temples are cracked, and overhead the sky burns with fire. A voice speaks. It's not male, not female. It's everything. Mortals have forgotten. You gasp and fall back. The vision is gone, but the tremor in your hands stays. You rush home through the chaos, people screaming, some praying, others already packing to leave the city. The fever has reached the port. A trader says Corinth is closed. A girl runs by, crying that she saw Poseidon rise from the sea. You slam your door shut. You light a lamp. And then, through the window, you see the Parthenon glowing, not from fire, from within, as though Athena herself has returned to claim it. You don't sleep that night. Instead, you write. You write everything you've seen, heard, felt. Because you don't know what's coming. But you know the gods are watching. And tomorrow, you may have to choose. Stay with the old ways, or follow the path that Hercules walked, away from Olympus, into the unknown. You rise before the sun. The dream lingers like incense, the gods etched behind your eyes. The smell of smoke from early bakers mixes with morning mist. Somewhere, a lyre plays softly, off-key. You wash your face with cold water from the courtyard basin. It doesn't help. Your mother notices. "Another bad dream?" she asks, folding a tunic. You nod. But it wasn't bad, not really. Just large, ancient, real in a way you can't explain. She presses a fig into your hand. Eat. The gods don't haunt the well-fed. Outside, the city is already awake. The fishmongers shout prices in the market. A philosopher debates with a handful of sleepy students, and a group of soldiers drills near the wall. Life continues. But you can't shake the feeling that you're walking inside a myth. And then you hear it again. Not in a dream this time, a proclamation, booming through the streets. The Oracle has spoken. All citizens to the Acropolis. You follow the tide of feet uphill. People are whispering, arguing, praying. A mother holds a child close. An old man clutches a wooden idol of Athena, like it's his last anchor to reason. At the top, beneath the towering columns of the Parthenon, a priest raises his arms. His voice shakes with fear and reverence. The gods have stirred. They demand our attention. There will be war, or plague, or famine, unless we honor them. A shiver goes through the crowd. You notice a bronze shield gleaming in the sunlight near the altar. It's been polished fresh. A sacrifice lies on the stone. A goat recently bled. The air smells like copper and smoke. And then someone near you whispers, "They say Hercules walks again." You don't correct them. You know what you saw. But before you can reflect, the priest calls names. A list of those chosen to consult the gods. And your name is one of them. Your stomach drops. The gods have noticed you. And you are not ready. You don't remember stepping forward, but you're suddenly at the base of the altar, the weight of every eye pressing down on your shoulders. You hear the priest's voice above you, chanting an ancient formula. His hands smear ash across your forehead, his breath warm with wine and fear. He tells you to kneel, and you do, your knees against cold marble worn smooth by centuries of other knees, other prayers. Above, the statue of Athena looms, eyes fixed in eternal calm. Her spear points not at you, but into the sky, as if even she is awaiting something larger. Then the chanting stops. A silence thicker than any you've known spreads over the Acropolis. The priest's voice breaks the stillness. You are chosen to walk the sacred path. Tonight, before Apollo sleeps, you must descend to Delphi. The oracle waits, gasps. You feel them, not hear them. Delphi, the center of the world, where the breath of the gods seeps from the earth, where mortals speak and gods answer. A hand grips your shoulder, firm, calloused. It's the priest. Go now, pack light. You'll leave before the shadows grow long. You return home in a daze. Your mother tries to hide her worry, but she folds your tunic slowly, as if she might sew protection into the seams. Your father doesn't speak. He only hands you a worn satchel and nods. The journey to Delphi is long, and the road is dusty. The sun hammers your shoulders. Your sandals fill with grit, but every step is guided by something older than reason, something woven into the bones of the land. As you walk, the world changes. The olive groves thin. The road narrows. Birds circle in silence above the rocks. And just before nightfall, you see it. The sanctuary of Delphi, nestled into the side of Mount Parnassus, like a secret. Smoke curls from torches. Marble gleams in fading light. And at the center, the temple of Apollo rises like a breath held too long. You are led inside without words. The air is thick with laurel and old fire. And there, seated above a crack in the earth, is the oracle. Veiled, still. Bare feet, just inches above the sacred chasm. She speaks, not to you, but to the god, and the god speaks through her. Her voice is smoke. Her words are not her own. The child of shadow has seen the lion. The earth shakes. The sky burns. When the 12 are stirred, so too is fate. The mortal touched by Hercules must choose to fight among gods or fall among men. You do not understand, not yet. But the priest bows, so you bow. And somewhere deep inside, you begin to feel the choice forming. You leave the temple with your thoughts cracked wide open, like a pomegranate split underfoot. The scent of burning myrrh clings to your skin as you descend the hill. The sun is low now, casting long, gold fingers across the rooftops of Athens. Each step through the narrow streets feels heavier, as if the words of the oracle have settled into your bones like lead. You pass a beggar slouched against a pillar. He mutters something in a language you don't recognize. His eyes, pale and clouded, seem to look through you, not at you. You drop an obol into his palm, out of instinct. Be wary of thunder on clear skies, he croaks. You stop. What did you say? But he's already asleep. Or dead. You can't tell. The agora is still awake, but just barely. The scent of grilled lamb and stale wine mixes with the sharper edge of sweat and olive oil. A group of children runs past you, laughing, draped in linen robes too large for them. A stray dog follows, tail wagging. You hear an old man shouting near a stall. Peaches, sweet as Aphrodite herself. 1 drachma, but only for the beautiful. He sees you and winks. For you, perhaps 2 drachma. You look cursed. You don't reply. Your legs carry you toward the Acropolis without thought. You know this isn't your route home, but something pulls you. Something old. Something watching. The path winds steeply upward. Marble dust kicks up beneath your sandals. You pass stonemasons packing up for the day. One wipes his brow and calls out to you. Don't let the gods find you up there after dark. They walk at night, they say. Another laughs, spitting into the dirt. Especially that one with the wings on his shoes. Bloody thief. Stole my purse once. Hermes doesn't care about your purse, the first one says, chuckling. Only your secrets. The wind picks up as you crest the final stairs, and there it is, the Parthenon, still under construction. Wooden scaffolding clings to its flanks like ribs. Stonemasons' tools lay scattered in the dust. A bronze chisel glints in the fading light. You walk between its columns, each one so wide it would take 5 men hand in hand to encircle it. And then, silence. You stop, because something has changed. You're no longer alone. A man stands inside the temple. He wears a robe of white and cobalt blue. His beard is short, oiled, his arms crossed behind his back. At first, you think he's a priest, but then the light shifts. His eyes are wrong, not cruel, just ancient, too ancient. He speaks. Do you know why they built this for her? You swallow. For Athena. He nods. For wisdom, yes. For war, yes. But more than that. He steps forward. For memory. His voice is soft, measured, like a tutor's. She will be the last to fade, he says. Because even when her name is forgotten, strategy remains. Thought remains. You stare at him. You're not a man, you whisper. He smiles, and it breaks something inside your mind. Number I'm not. He lifts his hand, and in it, a gleaming spear forms. Bronze-tipped, ancient yet untarnished. You fall to one knee. Ares? You ask. Number. He's louder than I. He steps closer. But he watches. And then you hear it. A rhythm in the air, like a heartbeat made of drums. Faint, distant, growing louder. Ares. The man vanishes. No light, no wind, just gone. You're alone again. Except not. because across the marble floor, a set of footprints has appeared in the dust. Fresh, heavy, leading out of the temple, into the open air. You follow. Outside, Athens has gone quiet. The city hums beneath the stars. You hear the chirp of cicadas, a lyre playing somewhere far below. Then a scream, short, human, from down near the theatre of Dionysus. You run. You find a woman crouched over a man. He bleeds from the stomach. A satyr mask lays cracked beside him, as if he'd just finished a play. "Thieves," she sobs. "They took everything." You kneel. "I'm not a healer," but a voice behind you says, "I am." You turn. She glides toward you barefoot, pale as milk, with silver eyes that hold the moon, a bow slung over her shoulder. A deer follows behind her like a pet. You know her before she speaks. Artemis. She kneels beside the man, places a hand on his forehead, whispers something in a language older than time. When she stands, the wound is closed. The man breathes. The woman cries. But Artemis turns to you. "Your path is not his," she says, "but you watched. That matters. You don't understand. Where am I meant to go?" She points. "To the sea, where all journeys begin. With the tide." You walk all night, past the city gates, past fishermen sleeping in nets, until the shore welcomes you with 1,000 silver waves under a navy sky. And as you look across the dark water, you see it, the shape of a ship. And beside it, a man in a long cloak, helm under one arm, staff in the other. "Late for your own myth," he calls. "Come, we're sailing for memory." You don't know his name, but something in his smile tells you. Hermes never waits long. You step back into the sunlight, the stone floor of the temple still warm through your sandals. The chants and incense are behind you now, but their weight clings to your skin like sweat. The sky above Athens is searing blue, too calm for what you've just heard. The agora hums nearby, vendors calling prices, bronze clinking, goats bleating. But none of it feels real. Your senses are sharpened. You smell figs crushed beneath cartwheels, hear the faint flap of banners above the stoa. Feel the dust swirl as a donkey trudges past. The priestess's voice still echoes. To fight among gods or fall among men. And you, just a boy in a linen tunic, with calloused hands and a stomach that still rumbles before dawn, are supposed to choose? A hand clasps your forearm. You flinch. "Easy," says Leandros, your friend since childhood, with olive skin darker than yours, and a scratch on his chin from yesterday's sparring. You look like you saw Hades himself. You say nothing. He sees it in your face anyway. You went to the Oracle. You nod. He curses under his breath and pulls you toward the shade. You pass under the archway by the old olive tree, where philosophers gather to argue beneath pigeons. Today, they all fall silent when you pass. You're being watched. Rumors spread fast in Athens, faster than arrows. "You're marked," Leandros mutters. "You know that, right?" You do. "Touched by Hercules," they'll say. "Watched by the gods. And not all gods. Watch with kindness." Later, in the gymnasium, the heat turns the air thick and metallic. Sweat steams off your shoulders as you train harder than ever. Javelin, discus, shield drills. You tell yourself it's to clear your mind, but the truth is, you're trying to forget. That evening you head to the bathhouse. The air is thick with steam and stories. Old men speak of Sparta rising again, of omens in the stars, of birds flying backward. You close your eyes in the water, let it wrap around you like a womb, and for a moment, you are nothing but breath and heartbeat. Then a voice calls your name. Not loudly, not threatening, just certain. You open your eyes and see her. A woman robed in white, golden jewelry catching the firelight. Not young, not old, not a servant, not a noble. Something else. You dream of Olympus, she says. You sit up. You dream of Hercules, she adds. And war. You don't respond. You can't. She steps forward and drops a small object beside your towel. A coin, worn with time, etched with an owl and lightning bolt. Come to the hill of the Muses at dawn, she whispers. Bring no one. Then she disappears into the mist. You stare at the coin for a long time. You know that owl. It's sacred to Athena. You also know that nothing from now on will be normal again. Dawn. Athens is still asleep, save for the soft scuff of your sandals on the stone path and the early stirrings of doves. A breeze from the sea carries the scent of salt and smoke. Somewhere, a rooster calls out, but it sounds far away, like a memory. You hold the owl coin tight in your fist. Its edges have left marks in your palm. You haven't told Leandros. You haven't told anyone. The Hill of the Muses looms above the city, watching over it like a quiet god. At the top stands the shrine, flanked by cypress trees and wrapped in ivy. You've been here before, but never alone, and never with prophecy burning behind your eyes. She's already waiting. The woman from the bathhouse stands with her back to you, facing the edge where the hill drops into air and marble roofs below. Her robe dances slightly in the breeze, and when she speaks, her voice is low and even. You came. You nod. She turns, and in the soft morning light, her face is different, sharper, brighter. Her eyes seem too knowing for a mortal, and yet she breathes as you breathe, blinks as you blink. Do you know why Hercules appears to mortals? She asks. You shake your head. Because when he does, it means the gods are watching. She takes a step forward. Athena has seen you. So has Hera. And others. You stand at a crossing. The old priestess told you what she saw, but she did not tell you what you are. Your throat tightens. What am I? She studies you for a long time before speaking. A thread. You blink. She smiles, but there's no joy in it. You are a thread in a tapestry being woven beyond your comprehension. If you pull one way, Athens survives. Another, and it burns. You step back, heart thudding. Why me? Because the gods tire of games. They want stories again. And you might be one worth telling. You open your hand. The owl coin glints in the first light of sunrise. She steps closer and presses something else into your hand. A sprig of laurel. Athena's favor is rare, but she lends it to thinkers and to those who act. Then she leans in close. You smell honey and olive oil and something older, something like thunder. Tonight, she says, at the temple of Apollo, there will be a gathering. You'll be tested, not with weapons, but with truth. And she is gone. No footsteps, no whisper, just vanished, like mist from a hot spring. You stare at the coin and the laurel sprig. The day unfolds around you, and all of Athens feels tilted, as if you're seeing the city through divine eyes. You notice the cracks in marble statues, the twitch of a politician's fingers as he lies in the forum. The soldier who limps from a wound he says doesn't exist. You feel outside of things, or maybe above them. But when the sun finally begins to fall, turning the Acropolis gold, you know where you're going, and you know the gods are watching. Evening. The temple of Apollo sits like a crown on the shoulder of Athens. Its columns catch the dying light, glowing like polished bone. As you climb the marble steps, every sound seems to hush. Even the cicadas are quiet. You're not alone. Others have come. Some you recognize. A senator's son with eyes like flint. A girl from the academy who speaks 7 languages. A boy with soot under his nails and fear in his eyes. Each holds something in their hands. Laurel. olive branch. A token. The woman is there again, waiting beneath the frieze that shows Apollo slaying the python. This time, she wears no robe, only a simple tunic and a golden clasp shaped like a lyre. "This is not a test of strength," she says softly. "This is a test of knowing." She gestures, and a priest brings forward a clay bowl filled with slips of parchment. You step forward and draw one. So do the others. Yours says, "Speak truth, even when silence would save you." You swallow hard. Then you're led, one by one, into the chamber. Not a trial, a conversation, or so they say. But the chamber is dark, cold, incense thick in the air, and the voices that question you are hidden behind a curtain. "You saw Hercules," a voice says. "Yes." "Did he speak?" "No." "Did you feel fear?" "Yes." A pause. "Did you feel pride?" You hesitate. "Yes." The curtain stirs. You glimpse a pale foot in a sandal. Another voice, this one softer, female. "Would you betray Athens to save a life you love?" Your heart stops. I don't know." A whisper behind the curtain. Laughter. Prayer. Then, "You will." The curtain falls. You are pushed gently back into the main chamber. The girl from the academy stares at you. Her hands are shaking. The boy with the soot under his nails looks like he might be sick. But the woman, the one who never gave you a name, steps forward again. "You've begun," she says. "You've all begun." And then to you, quieter, "Do you know who your father is?" You blink. "Yes." "Do you know who your mother prayed to when you were born?" The coin burns in your pocket, the laurel dries in your hand. "No," you say. She smiles. She did not pray to Hera, or Demeter, or Artemis. She prayed to someone older. The room fades, not from sleep, not from magic, but from something else, something that feels like history peeling back its skin. Night. You walk the streets of Athens in a fog. The taverns are alive, voices spilling out with the smell of roasted lamb and wine. Somewhere, a lyre is played, slow and mournful. At a corner, a man reads aloud poetry about the stars, and people listen. But the city feels far away from you now. You remember the priestess's words, to fight among gods or fall among men. Your steps lead you, unknowingly, toward the temple of Hephaestus, god of fire, forge, and broken things. A place you haven't been since childhood. Inside, the hearth glows faint. Tools hang along the walls. And you remember, this was where your father brought you once, when your hands were too small to even lift a hammer. A voice speaks from the dark. "You've grown." You turn, but it's not your father. It's an old man. Skin like beaten bronze, beard of ash, but his eyes are alive. You try to speak. "I forged your grandfather's blade," he says, "and his father's shield, and yours." He steps closer. "Will be unlike either." You don't understand, yet, but you feel the metal waiting beneath the earth. You feel the thread of fate tighten, and above, in the sky, the stars begin to move, like gods shifting on their thrones. Dawn. The sky is not blue, it is gold, blistering, holy gold, as if Apollo himself is dragging the sun a little too close to the earth. You haven't slept. Your feet carry you back to the agora, where the city begins to stir. Merchants raise their tents. A butcher sharpens his blade. Somewhere nearby, a child cries for honeyed figs. But none of it feels real anymore. People glance at you, not because of who you are, but because of something you carry now. In your posture, in your silence, you feel like an open scroll and everyone is reading you. Then you hear your name. A boy approaches, face flushed. He's out of breath. "The gymnasium," he gasps. "You need to come, now." You run. The palestra. Hercules is there. But something's wrong. His lion pelt is missing. His skin is pale, and his club, the great club, lies shattered at his feet. He isn't speaking. He's whispering. And the other boys, strong and proud as they were, are keeping their distance. You move closer. He looks at you. And for the first time, you see it. Fear. He grabs your arm. "They've left," he whispers. "The gods, they're leaving." You blink. "What do you mean?" But he doesn't answer. He's staring at the sky. You follow his gaze, and your breath catches. The constellations are wrong. Leo is moving, Orion is limping, and the sky is shimmering, as if an invisible veil is being lifted. And then, a sound. Low, distant, like thunder under the earth. Everyone around you freezes. A priest arrives at the gates. His robe is torn. His face is pale. "The Oracle has spoken again," he says. People gather. "A mortal has touched Olympus," the priest says, "and now Olympus is bleeding." Someone gasps. Someone prays. But you feel something else. Heat. Rising up your spine. Your pocket burns. You reach inside and pull out the coin the priestess gave you. Only, it's no longer a coin. It's a shard, a broken piece of something older. And on its face, you see a carving. Not a god, not a hero, but yourself. Later, the city is no longer the same. Plagues don't arrive like thunder. They come softly, like breath. A sickness is moving through the alleys. The temples are filling with the dying. And in the sky, the sun is too bright. Or maybe not bright enough. You walk the streets like a ghost. Everyone is speaking of signs, of omens, of war. And every time you sleep, the gods return to your dreams. Only now, they're different. Aphrodite is weeping. Athena is blindfolded. Hades is missing. And Hercules, he does not appear at all. Final night. You return to the temple of Apollo. The gates are open. Inside, the woman, the one who gave you your first vision, waits. She speaks without looking at you. "You were born in the age of twilight," she says. "The gods are not eternal. They survive only in memory, in belief, in you. You don't speak. You can't. The choice has been made," she continues. "You will live through what comes next, but you will not remember." She steps aside. There, in the center of the chamber, is a mirror, but it shows no reflection, only sand, wind, stars, and in the distance, a figure walking away from Olympus. You step toward it, and as your hand touches the glass, you walk home slowly. The sun is setting, low and heavy, like it too is tired of the day. Your sandals scrape against stone. The smell of olive oil, smoke, and sheep hangs in the air. At the corner of the street, a boy recites poetry. You pause. It's Homer. You know the lines by heart now. At your door, your mother greets you with a tired smile. She places a bowl of lentils in your hands, still warm. You eat in silence. And before sleep, you stare up at the wooden beams of your roof, counting each one like stars. You think about Hercules, about the gods, about choices, about fate. And for the first time, you understand something. History isn't made by gods. It's made by those who choose to live as if they matter. You close your eyes, and the day ends. But you've only just begun. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to support the channel, consider subscribing. Good night.